Hi guys, welcome back. If you have made it through the stormier parts of this series, denial, anger, bargaining, and depression, then you have already walked through some of the hardest emotional territories that divorce brings up. Today we are arriving at something quieter, let's say, less dramatic, but deeply transformative, and that is acceptance. Now, I want to be clear. Acceptance isn't about feeling great about what happened. It's not about loving the outcome or suddenly being full of optimism. It's about seeing things clearly without resistance. Acceptance is the moment when you stop arguing with reality, not because it finally became easy, but because fighting it just became too exhausting. This is a stage where things don't necessarily look different on the outside, but something begins to shift inside. You start to move from reaction to reflection, from holding on to let it go. Now, let's think a little bit what acceptance sounds like. How would it look like? Acceptance doesn't always announce itself. It's very subtle. It might sound like, I still don't like this, but I understand why it's happening. So it brings understanding of the situation. It could sound like, I wouldn't have chosen this, but I can see that it's necessary. You can acknowledge that there is still sadness, but you don't feel stuck in it anymore. And also, acceptance is when the mental tug of war ends. You stop scanning constantly the past to find ways to undo it. You stop bargaining with the present in hopes of a different future. You begin to engage with what it is, with the reality. So, for those of you who initiated the divorce or the separation, you might start to notice your partner's becoming less reactive. Maybe the accusations stop. Maybe the guilt trips start to quiet down. There is less chaos, less contact, fewer emotional spikes. And this initially could feel like relief, or it might even feel unexpectedly sad. But because of this, it's also the moment when your former partner begins to detach. And not just from you, but from the story of us, from the future that they thought was going to be. And don't mistake this calm with coldness. It might be, hopefully, the first moment they are actually standing in their own life again. So, if this is the stage that is happening inside you, whether you are the one who left or the one who was left, it can feel surprisingly tender. You might find yourself wanting also fewer explanations. You might feel less urgency to be understood. You might no longer react to every message or every look or memory or interaction that you have with your former partner. And this doesn't mean you have forgotten. It means the pain isn't holding you hostage anymore. It means that you are standing and you are starting to reorient your life around yourself rather than the loss. And one day you wake up and you realize you didn't think about them first thing in the morning. Oof, that moment. Or you stop checking if they saw your Instagram story. Or you had dinner alone and it didn't feel like loneliness. It felt like peace. Now, it's also important to understand that acceptance isn't indifference. It's not erasing the past or pretending it didn't matter. It's actually the opposite, if you think. It's honoring the weight of what happened and choosing not to carry forward with that. It's not about giving up on love, neither. It's about letting go of a version of love that no longer holds you well. Now, acceptance is not linear. You might feel acceptance one day and slip into sadness the next. That doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. It means you are still human. So it's not linear, okay? Now, it's good to have a couple of anchoring practices, a few ways to embody this stage. So you could create a new ritual, for example. Maybe it's a walk each morning where you greet your new chapter in life. Maybe it's writing a letter that you will never send to your partner, but it will help you in this process. You could also focus on self-trust and ask yourself, what decision today honors where I am now, not where I used to be? You could also begin imagining, not with rush, but gently allowing yourself to picture a future that is not tethered to the past. And most importantly, speak to yourself like someone you are beginning to know again. With curiosity, with kindness, and very importantly, with less judgment. With less judgment about what you did, about what you could have done different, etc., etc. It's important to understand that acceptance doesn't always feel like a finish line. Often it feels like a space, like you're finally able to breathe without the weight of hoping things will go back to what they were. You may still carry memories though, and for sure regrets, even love, but none of it runs your life anymore, and that's the beauty of it. And that shift, subtle as it is everything. Guys, if this video resonated with you, please leave a comment below. What did acceptance look or feels like for you? And if you are just now approaching it, what will help you trust it? And if you have been following this series, thank you. There is something courageous about facing each of these emotional landscapes one by one. Whatever you are in your journey, just know that you are not alone and you are not behind. This isn't about closure. This is about continuity. You are still here, and that counts for something.